Hello, everybody. Greetings to all. A happy new year to the Snooker Hall community. Welcome to the Snooker Hall podcast. I'm Dan Murren. The Masters is coming up, and like so many other snooker fans, I can't wait. For the snooker faithful, this is one of the premier events of the season. A one-table setup at a venue like Alexandra Palace, a draw chock full of elite players, blockbuster matches all over the place, and a week of top-notch snooker lies ahead. This will be my first time at Ali Pali. I can't say I'm a massive fan of that shortened name, but you know how easygoing I am. I'll just go with it. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the matches and let's make some predictions. The Masters kicks off with a clash of snooker titans. Ronnie O'Sullivan versus John Higgins. Ronnie O'Sullivan, the defending champion, of course. He's not had a great season on the table, if we're completely honest. He's outside the top 16 on the one-year ranking list. John Higgins, he made a final at the British Open. Okay, he didn't win, but that's a good sign for John. It's hard to call this one because Ronnie hasn't showed much, as I said. It's hard to gauge his form. We've heard about some exhibitions that he's performed well in, but that's not competitive snooker. It's a difficult one to call. I do think Ronnie will win. I think a stage like the Masters is made for someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan. And as much as many fans would like to not only see Ronnie lose, but they'd like to see John win, I can't see it happening. I'm going to go for an O'Sullivan win here. I think he'll be too strong. I'll be there on that day. And I think before I move on to the second match, I think it's important to note that I'm excited for that match, not only because of the quality of the players involved, but we don't know how many more times we will get to see that match on a stage like that. It's going to be an amazing spectacle. The respect the players have for each other is immense. It's going to be a great match. I think O'Sullivan will win, and I feel very fortunate that I'll be going to it. So the second match, could we call it the main event? That's controversial. Whatever. Shaun Murphy versus Gary Wilson. Shaun Murphy started the season well. He made a big final. I believe he lost to Judd Trump, if I'm not mistaken. But he's kind of fallen away a little bit. Not massively, but just a bit. Gary Wilson's season has been completely forgettable. He had one quarterfinal. I think it was at the International Championship. I think he won a match at the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters. But apart from that, there's not really much to write home about. He meekly lost to Long Zhuang in Edinburgh to relinquish his grip on the Stephen Hendry Trophy. Last season, had they met, I probably would have said Gary Wilson. But this season, given his form, I can't see how Gary Wilson would have plucked a good performance out of nowhere. It's Shaun Murphy win for me all day long. On the Monday, Mark Allen versus Si Jiahui. I'll say something which I'm not sure many will agree with, but I can't see why. Mark Allen will win this match. Si Jiahui has talent, but form, says Mark Allen. We've been told by snooker press, by snooker pundits on Twitter, the way fans speak about these players, that Si Jiahui is the up-and-coming superstar of snooker and that Mark Allen's had a poor season. I don't buy those narratives for a minute. Well, I kind of buy one of them. Si Jiahui is an up-and-coming superstar. But I don't buy for a moment that Mark Allen has had a poor season, and I never have. Results clearly have dictated that he ain't doing too badly. Okay, he hadn't won a trophy before that exhibition in Riyadh, but he'd made a number of quarterfinals, a few semis. Right? He's not doing that badly. Had he won a trophy, for example, like Neil Robertson or Mark Selby, nobody would be saying this. They got over the line, he hasn't. But he's consistently been putting himself in positions where he can challenge for trophies. Mark Allen's had a, by his standards, not great season, but it's better than most. He's doing all right. Now that Mark Allen, as I mentioned, okay, it's not an elite trophy, it's a glorified exhibition, but it's a lucrative exhibition. He now has an extra £250,000 in the bank, minus tax. That could be the spark which kicks his season on even more. He is going to be a very, very dangerous man in London. I think he will breeze past Si Jiahui with something to spare. One of the matches that is going under the radar in terms of attention and speculation is Mark Selby, Ali Carter. And maybe it's a little bit harsh because both are ranking event winners this season. However, having said that, since winning the Championship League at the very beginning of the season, Ali Carter, he's not done much. He has been pretty anonymous and there's been nothing to write home about. Mark Selby, he won the British Open. That's a pretty big event. I can't see anything other than Mark Selby victory here. Mark Selby is still one of the most feared players in snooker. If he plays well, he is a match for anybody, whether it be Judd Trump, Kyron Wilson, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Williams. Mark Selby, he can match them. He's a 4-time world champion. He still doesn't get the respect and the admiration that I feel he deserves. He could be a real threat this week, and I do think he'll come up against Mark Allen in the quarterfinal. Really, really looking forward to that if my predictions come true. In the bottom half of the draw, the player of the season, Judd Trump versus Barry Hawkins. This is a repeat, of course, of the UK Championship final in November. Barry played really well on that occasion, but Judd played just that little bit better. Judd was immense throughout that week in York. He is the player of the season, as I said. He has won the biggest events. He's miles ahead at number 1 on the ranking list. His consistency is mind-boggling. It's truly, it's the stuff of legend. Judd is the most complete snooker player in the world right now, and Barry Hawkins is great, but sorry, Baz, I'm backing Judd here. I think most other snooker fans will be backing Judd too. Ronnie O'Sullivan versus John Higgins might be getting all the attention, but the tie of the first round for me is Mark Williams versus Ding Junhui. Two players who have had great seasons, both obviously rightly considered all-time greats of snooker. But strange enough, despite this being the standout match, I don't really know what to say about it. I think Ding will make it through. I won't be there to see it in person, which is a regret, but I will be watching on TV. Short and sweet. But I will be there to watch both matches on Wednesday, so keep an eye on the front row for a good-looking, charming fella. First up, Luca Brissell versus Chris Wakelin. On paper, this season, Chris Wakelin should be considered the favourite. But Luca has shown signs of recovery. He made the final in Riyadh in that exhibition just before Christmas. He made the quarterfinal in Edinburgh. He beat Zhao Yulong and Ding Junhui along the way. Chris Wakelin, yeah, okay, he made a big final. He's made a couple of quarters, a couple of semis. He's been really consistent. I just think Luca's going to do it. I have faith in Luca Brissell. The final match of the first round sees the reigning world champion Kyron Wilson take on Zhang Anda. I think Zhang has to take advantage of this opportunity. I don't think he will, but I think he has to try because I can't see him making it back to next year's event. He hasn't actually been that good since, well, even before the World Championship. I predicted an easy win for Jack Jones in Sheffield in round 1, and so it happened. I say it again, Zhang will fade away from the top of the game. He'll fall back into the pack. This is going to be a stepping stone for Kyron Wilson. It's going to be an easy win. 6-2, maybe even 6-1. I think Kyron has a good chance of reaching the latter stages of the tournament. I don't think he will, but he has a good chance of doing it. My final 4 in the semi-finals, Shaun Murphy, Mark Allen, Judd Trump, Luca Brissell in the semi-final. In the end, my prediction to win the trophy is Mark Allen. I think he's dangerous over short matches. I think he has a style of play which could disrupt opponents. If he does start playing flowing snooker, he's as deadly as anyone. He is the pistol after all. Yeah, Mark Allen's going to win it. As I said, I'll be there for the opening day. I'll be there on the Wednesday to watch Kyron Wilson, the world champion. I'll be there for semi-final Saturday and for the final 2. If you are at Alexandra Palace, feel free to pop over, say hello. I will be recording an episode live at the venue. I'll be speaking to snooker fans about the matches, the action, the venue itself, the overall experience. What a way to kick off 2025. If you want to get in touch, the email address is contactus@thesnookerhall.com, and follow the show on X, on Instagram, and on Blue Sky. The handle for all of those platforms is @thesnookerhall. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the Masters. Let's keep talking about snooker, and until next time, take care.